So, the lens that kept me in the Micro Four Thirds system is the Olympus 40-150 f2.8 Pro lens, and I really wanted to go whale watching with it. What makes this lens amazing and special and unique? First of all, it's that amazing Olympus build quality, especially on the OM1. I was not worried at all taking it out on a very shaky boat through the Sydney Harbour to do some whale watching. I was sea spray all over it, and yeah, I actually was a little bit worried, but the camera and the lens held up perfectly fine the whole trip. And additionally to the really good build quality comes that ingenious hood design of the Olympus with that one snap pulling it down and up. Keeps it compact, and because of the sea spray and slight rain on the boat, kept the front element dry as well and free of spray. So yeah, I think this is the best lens design or lens hood design I've seen on any lens so far. Yeah, otherwise you'd be cleaning this the whole time if I would have forgotten it, which I'm notorious for. I usually never shoot with lens caps, but I knew being out on sea or being out in bad weather, I will have one with me all the time. Yeah, the next amazing thing is the barrel doesn't extend. So you can go through the whole zoom range from 40 to 150 or 80 to 300 in full frame terms without it getting longer, which is great for compactness, but also it makes you less look like a creep when you do something not animal related. And besides, obviously, it helps the weather resistance even more so. That makes me feel much more relaxed knowing that I'm not attracting that much attention. And speaking of being relaxed, the smaller size and weight of the lens overall is great, especially for f2.8 Pro lens. It's a joy to carrying around, or even if you have to shoot with your main camera on your wide camera and you have that dangling on the side. For a gig you need two cameras at all times. It won't break your back or neck or both. Personally, it's sharper than I need it to be. I probably would complain with one of the non-pro lenses, but this one, even at 300mm, the f2.8 still looks great, and you don't really need to ever stop down unless you need a little bit more in focus, which again in 300mm, even on Micro Four Thirds, a lot will be blurred. As all Olympus Pro lenses, it does have the focus clutch. I'm a huge fan of that. Not just for those moments when the autofocus is struggling, it's also great if you know a distance where you want to shoot at. You can pull down the clutch into manual focus and will already have acquired this distance you set it before. It's hard to go back, but so few lenses have it that it is also hard to really get used to it. But yeah, it can be a lifesaver in the right moments. Also, it does have a collar, it rotates freely. I wish it would have some hard stops on the 180 degrees or 90 degree spots, but it does have it, which is something some other lenses are not comes included with. Tripod mount, of course. No Arca Swiss is probably my only little gripe, but also I don't think I ever used it on the lens collar on a tripod, so hasn't been a problem. 72mm front filter cap is manageable. Like I had to actually step up even to my larger ND filter to use it if I wanted to use it for video, but yeah, very rarely I did so, just because those distances I'm not shooting as often anymore, and with the whales I only shot photos just because it was such a short time frame and I really wanted to focus on photos. It definitely has some heft to it, of course. It's a Pro lens, but it works very well on the OM1. also used it on the EM5 and even on the EM10, and yeah, it works well on all those bodies, but obviously it's more at home at an OM1 size body. I never used it on a Panasonic camera, but I'm sure it would be a great fit for the G9 and GH5 for that size of cameras. And because there's no image stabilization, you're actually not missing out on anything. So it actually might be a perfect fit for those Panasonic cameras. Yeah, I compared it actually against the 30 to... What's the Panasonic Pro lens called? I had it for a while. I really didn't get on with it. The 30 to 100? I think it was 30 to 100. f2.8, the very small one. Yeah, I was not a fan of that at all. I thought it looked funky, especially if you shot those two side by side, not even side by side. One day you shoot a Panasonic, and the next day you shoot an Olympus. Yeah, you really miss the reach, and you miss the build quality, and yeah, also the pictures always look better. But yeah, maybe that also was a subject, the problem there. I didn't have obviously whales to shoot or nice birds, because I usually took it around for a city walk, which I would not do with this one. But yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about it, which the people who know me or people who watch this channel know that's very, very rare. I usually have a lot of negative things about everything to say, but just because I like to criticize stuff, and generally there's always room for improvement. But yeah, it's a 300mm f2.8 at the long end. This is something you don't really find in full frame ever, and but please correct me, I think sometimes you find a prime lens with that speed, also in other Micro Four Thirds lenses. So I really think this Olympus lens is super unique and works really well. Of course, if you want a 100 to 400 Micro Four Thirds lens, or a 200 to 600, 800, you know who you are. This lens might not be for you, but yeah, for what I've done and what I wanted to use it for, it was perfect. And actually, it not being a prime lens came in clutch at a whale watching, because the whales were so close at some times that I actually had to zoom out all the way to 80mm just to catch them by the boat. I think at least 50% of the photos I took or I'm showing were on the wider end of the lens. So if I would have taken a prime lens, I would have been screwed. You miss the 10mm maybe on the wide end, but with the Olympus 12 to 40, if you have that as well, those two lenses together are covering you for, I would say, 90 to 99% of all shooting scenarios. The rendering is beautiful. I never mess around with the colors of my pictures. It was a bit of a gloomy day, and grays are generally more on the gray and white side, so you will not see all the colors perfectly. But yeah, I think when I use it for other things, I always like the rendering and the coatings on all the Olympus Pro lenses. That was the lens that kept me in the Micro Four Thirds system till probably now. Yeah, I had that whale watching experience. I'm not shooting as much surf anymore. I think for what I do, I rather have a full frame camera and something small. As you know from other videos, I try to reduce my gear as much as I can all the time. So yeah, I'm still looking for my next camera and lens combination. But yeah, just the Olympus will go as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've got some value out of this. And yeah, as I said, the Olympus camera and lens is a great combination, especially in the OM1.